To me, rhythm is playing with patterns in time. That's it. So we take some patterns and we observe time. We see how there are patterns of events connected in time, and there we have it. That's rhythm to me. So the scope of rhythm is enormous. It goes so deep. There is so much we can do with it. And so today, like I said, I want this to be something hands-on. That's how I thought about it. Um, so let's just try something with a pattern without further ado. So you can all follow along with me. We'll start very simple, very basic. As the weeks go by, we'll get into more advanced things. But for now, we're just going to keep it very simple. So we're just going to be clapping today. Okay. So let's take this very basic pattern. I'm just going to play it for you now. So you can follow along. So A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Okay? So that's the basic pattern. So you notice that it's a repeating pattern. So there's A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. So that's this very basic pattern that we have, and it repeats. So let's do something with this pattern. So for a start, let's slow it down. So when I say slow it down, what do I mean? So it should still feel like the same pattern, but it's just slow. So A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Alright? So that's the same pattern, but slow. Now let's speed it up, go in the other direction. So A, B, C, D. 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 Okay? So what we've done is we've taken a pattern, we've slowed it down, we've sped it up, but we have somehow retained the sense of the pattern. It's still recognizable. So this is one thing that we can do with a pattern. So a big part of developing rhythmic skill is about knowing that one pattern, if you're comparing one pattern to another, is it the same? Are they different? We should be able to recognize them. So how do we recognize them? Then that becomes a question. So we use a number of tools. We can develop a number of skills to understand if two patterns are the same or not. So at a very basic level, let me show you what different patterns are. So first we have the same pattern we did before. Now if I take a different pattern, it would be maybe so these two patterns, whether you slow them down or speed them up, they're not going to be the same. They are different patterns. Just like two different faces, they look different. So they are not the same. So how do we tell if one pattern is definitely not the same as another one or the same as another one? So one, like I said, we're going to be using tools, and all these tools are also patterns in time. So we're going to be using patterns in time to learn about patterns in time. So today what we're going to do, we're going to go over one particular tool, and that tool is called tempo. So maybe many of you have heard about this. So, what is tempo? Tempo is a pattern where all the events in the pattern are equally spaced. So, what do I mean by equally spaced? The pattern we just did, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. So, in this, some events are closer to each other in time, some of them are further away from each other in time. So, A, B, C, D. So, C and D are close together, but A, B further apart, right? So that's a bit uneven. A tempo pattern has events where everything is equally spaced. So if it's something like this. And so on. So wherever you start, it seems like it's just the same pattern going on, and it's all even. So this is one of arguably the most fundamental tools that we could be using to understand rhythm. So why do we use tempo? I mean, sure, it's okay. We all know it's a pattern now, and it's a pattern with equally spaced events. But why do we use this? So if we take any particular rhythm, anything at all, tempo is a great way to understand how the events in a rhythm pattern, how they are connected to each other in time. So let me show you what I mean. Let's take the same pattern we started out with. So A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. All right. So I have here something called a metronome. So you can get this easily. You can get an app. There are hundreds of apps, hundreds of metronome apps. So what this app does is essentially it plays out a tempo pattern. So if I set the speed, right? So it's a constant tempo. It's just going on and on. So this particular pattern is really easy to get on a metronome. So let's say I'm going to do A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Now, how do I use this particular tempo to understand the rhythm that I have? So I need to get the tempo just at the right speed. If you notice, there's fast tempo and slow tempo. Let me show you what a fast tempo is. So this would be a fast tempo. Pretty fast. Now, what would be a very, very slow tempo? That's very slow. All right? So, what we need to do is we need to find just the right tempo so that it makes our pattern, our rhythmic pattern, easily recognizable to us. So, let me show you what a wrong tempo would be. So, when we're going to use our tempo for our rhythm, what we're going to do, I'm going to call this a click, by the way, the metronome. So, we're going to have clicks at a certain speed. So, now if I want to do A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. And if I set the wrong speed, so A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, it doesn't match. It's not going together. It's not going in sync. It's not happening in the right way. Okay, what if I go too fast? So, all right. So if I go A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. No, it it doesn't line up well. So what do? We try to find a tempo that works just right. And what is it to be just right? We find a tempo where all our events in our rhythm, so we have A, B, C, and D. So A, B, C, and D, all of them happen at the same time as a click, as one of the clicks. So let me show you one particular pattern. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. So now there's something to be noticed here. One is A, B, and C are all happening on a click. So A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Right? But D is not happening on a click. So A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Right? So this doesn't really meet our requirements for what we need. So what do? Let's go to a different tempo. All right. So now A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Now if you notice, all four, A, B, C, and D, all of them are on a click. Let me show that again. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. All right. So all of them are on a click, but now something else interesting is happening. We have some clicks where I'm saying nothing. So what are those clicks? So A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Let me slow this down for you just to make you hear it better. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. So now we have all these other clicks. So what's happening is the gaps between A, B, C, or D, some of them have some clicks in them. So now not only are we able to tell the rhythm as a bunch of events, but we also can see how big are the spaces between them. So we are essentially able to tell how these events are connected to each other in time. And we're able to see the pattern better. So let's go over that once more. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. So A and B, they have one click in between them. B and C, one click between them. C and D, no clicks. Which is why in the pattern A, B, C, D, we thought, C and D are quite close to each other. So it turns out there are no clicks in between them. And after D, we have two clicks. So it's A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Right? So now we know the pattern as a whole, not only in terms of the events, but in terms of the timing as well. And now this particular thing, this tool, tempo, is what gave us this understanding of what this rhythm really was all about. How do we really see this rhythm in time? All right. So now let's just do that once more, just so you get a feel for this. A. So follow along. Feel free to follow along. A, B, C, D. 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 All right. So that gives us an idea of how tempo can help us look at a rhythm in a way that the pattern becomes clear to us. Because, like I said, a huge part of developing rhythmic skill is about being able to understand patterns in time. So you can see a pattern, tell, okay, it's this is how it is. See another pattern, be able to tell, are they the same? Are they different? If they are different, how are they different? So we have a much better, a much keener understanding of what really makes up a rhythm. So now that begs the question, how do we figure out the right tempo? How do we know what tempo is going to work? There is certainly a skill development journey over there. So it could take a while for some. It could. I know it took me a while before I got the hang of this. So a good way to start practicing is to take a couple of patterns and you perform those patterns with a certain tempo. So for now, I have a metronome here. So you can get a metronome app. You can get even maybe an electronic metronome. Uh, and once set a certain speed and try to say or clap out different patterns with that tempo. So we've already done it for this, but let's do this one again. What we're going to do is we're going to take this pattern of A, B, C, D. We're going to say it at this a certain tempo, then we're going to slow it down, then we're going to speed up. If you remember, that's how we started this session in the first place. We took a pattern, slowed it down, sped it up, tried to maintain the recognizability of the pattern. So no matter what speed we go to, I should always be able to tell, this is the same pattern. So let's try this with this pattern and then we'll do a couple of more patterns. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. And now remember the spaces as well that are coming with the clicks. So A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. All right, let's slow this down now. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Try to follow along with the spaces as well. A, B, C, D. Be aware of the spaces. A, B, C, D. All right, let's speed it up a lot. All right. A, B, C, D. 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 Okay, so that's one pattern. Now I have a couple of more patterns here. So, okay, let's do another one. So this pattern now we're going to do patterns with the tempo. So what we're learning now is to really know how tempo connects with any pattern. So let's do, okay, one, all right. Okay, let's do this pattern. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, sorry. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. And A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Okay, now let's slow it down like we did before. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. All right, let's go super fast. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Now, it may be confusing for some of us when it goes really fast or really slow. I understand. So it's about developing that skill. So the pattern is the same. So we're going to look at it from the point of the tempo click, right? And we're going to see when an event happens, when A or B or C or D happens, and how many spaces there are between each. Because most rhythm follows this kind of an architecture to it. So let's do this. A, B, C, D. 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 All right. So that's one pattern. Now let's do one more. So a bit more challenging. Okay. All right. So A, B, C, D. 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 All right. So in this, what we're going to do is we're going to see how the pattern really works. So after A, there are two spaces. After B, there's one. After C, there's one. After D, now there's no space. It just goes back, right back to A. So A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A. Okay? Let's slow it down. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. Okay, so that's a slow one. So if you notice, because of the tempo, because of the click, we're able to tell, okay, now we stop, now comes the next event, now we stop, now comes the next event. And we're able to tell how long each gap is between any two events. So use the tempo. Be aware of that tempo click as you do this. Okay, now we're going to try it fast. A, B, C, D, 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 A. Okay, and let's do one final pattern. Okay, so let's start off at fairly average speed. Okay, here let's try a bigger gap. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do A followed immediately by B, a gap of 3, So A, B, and then we're going to do C, D without a gap, and then one gap. So it'll be like this. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. All right, let's do it a couple more times. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. So over here, as time goes on, as our skill improves, we don't need to count the gaps. We don't need to count each gap. We can just tell how big a gap is based on the click. So what happens is, as we improve with our skill, as we do this more and more, the click becomes an internal pattern. So it becomes like a lens. The click, the tempo pattern, think of it as perspective. So the perspective that you have makes apparent to you a certain kind of pattern, depending on, just like in real life, depending on our perspective, we see things differently. So the same rhythmic pattern, if our perspective is a certain way, we will perceive it in a certain way. Another person, if their perspective is different, they're going to perceive it in a different way. So if we internalize this click of, it's going to make any rhythm that we listen to or observe or watch, anything, it doesn't even have to be sound, we will experience it in a way that makes the connection, the pattern, very apparent. So let's get back to this pattern. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. Okay, let's slow it down. And this time I'm going to go a bit slower than usual. It might be painfully slow for some, but let's try it. Somehow, even at this speed, the pattern retains its nature. So, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. Really feel the tempo. A, B, C, D. All right. I know that was very slow for some of us. I mean, I find it very slow as well. But it helps at any tempo to be able to recognize the pattern. And slow tempos are actually really, really good for doing that. Okay, super fast now. Let's go faster than usual, in fact. A, B, C, D, 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 A, B. So after a point, try to just feel the pattern. So if the tempo is internalized enough, you will just begin to see the pattern in a very different way. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C D, A B, C D, A B, C D, A B, C D. All right. So um, that pretty much brings us to the end of the practice session, so to speak. So I hope you gained some understanding of what happens behind the scenes of rhythm. So we have rhythm patterns, we have patterns in time, and we can develop our perspective, develop our skill, so that we're able to understand these patterns. Much in a way we understand languages, much in a way we understand words, sentences. We begin to see rhythmic patterns and we develop our vocabulary. So we use a number of tools to do that. Those tools are also patterns in time. One of those tools, and one of the most fundamental ones in my opinion, is tempo. What is tempo? It's a pattern of time, it's a pattern, a rhythmic pattern, where every event in the pattern, they're all equally spaced. All the events are equally spaced. So, how that helps us is we take any rhythmic pattern, we try to find the right tempo, the right perspective, so that we see this pattern and we see all the connections in the pattern, all the events, how they're connected to each other, how they're moving from one to the other, how much time there is between events. We're able to see all this just by keeping the right perspective. So, that perspective, developing that perspective, a good way to develop that is to take a pattern, say it in rhythm. So, let's say you already decide that we have four events A, B, C, and D. And let's say A has one gap after that, B has one gap after that, and C and D don't have any gap between them, and D has two gaps at the end. That's the first rhythm we started out with. So if we have a pattern like this, now what we have to try is start a metronome pulse, start a tempo pattern, and okay, let's do it slow. So we know A, one gap, B, one gap, C, no gap, D, two gaps after that. So A, 1, B, 1, C, D, 1, 2, A, 1, B, 1, C, D, 1, 2. All right? So if we develop our skill, we don't have to count anymore. So we can just feel for, just like we don't have to spell every word that we speak out. We just know the spelling. We just know the word for what it is. So we can do the same thing here. We don't need to count anymore, and we can just do A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. And when we do this long enough, even without a metronome, we have a metronome running in our heads. So we can say A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. And this happens for any pattern at all. You can do this for any pattern, and much of rhythm relies on this sense of internal perspective. Okay, so that's about it. Thank you so much for joining, um, and we'll definitely continue. We'll definitely continue this series. We can meet each week and we'll take one thing up. So now what I'd like to hear is any questions that you have about anything related to rhythm. It doesn't even have to be related to what we did today. Anything at all, if you would like to ask me, the floor is open for questions, so to speak. So let me know, and while if there are any questions, I'll wait for them. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. I've been wanting to do this for so many years. I cannot even tell you how happy I am to be able to do this. Um, If you want to get really connected with rhythm, remember listening is one thing, but really doing it, really trying to do these things, really trying to engage with rhythm, that's what will really give you a deep perspective into rhythm. Okay, there's a question. Can rhythm, especially the changing or contrasting of it, be used to convey or evoke something in a piece of music? Rhythm is so fundamental, and I'm wondering if it just lays groundwork or can do more when it comes to, say, setting the mood of a piece. Okay? The short answer is yes. Definitely, rhythm is something you can set the mood of a piece in so many different ways. Of course, rhythm has a deep connection with music. Rhythm has connection with many forms, many art forms, and even outside art. But yes, especially with music, there's a very deep connection that it shares with notes. So instead of just talking about it, let me just show you. Okay, let me actually try it with a guitar, maybe. All right, so all right, I'm just going to play um, the same notes but in a different rhythm, just to show you just a sliver of what is possible. So if I have, so that's a straight rhythm. If you notice, that's like a tempo pattern. It's going tuck 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 tuck, right? What if I were to change that? So okay, that's also a constant kind of pattern. What if I were to change it a bit more? And more. Or let me go into something a bit uh, off. So, or even, so if you notice, I'm not changing anything about the notes. There's nothing that great about that melody as such. It's just notes going one way and the other. But all I'm doing is I'm changing the rhythm. So this is patterns. I could even change the speed and thereby change the mood. So if I go really slow, that's one way. If I have to go really fast, I mean not too fast though. Or let's choose okay. Right? So we can definitely change the piece just based on the rhythm. And that's a very simple, basic example of how that's possible. We can do so many things. If you listen to a lot of songs, the fundamental bedrock on which things are moving is the rhythm. The notes are all there, but they're arranged in this kind of architecture that tells you, that sets the mood. It's like you have the same bricks, but you could make a house, you could make an office with those same bricks, you could make you could make a museum, you could make so many things, you could make a music school. They all have different purposes, the very same blocks. So just like you can do different things with notes, you can have different scales, you can actually have different rhythms, and some rhythms have certain feelings associated with them, like let's say a waltz where you go 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 3 That's one. Another kind of thing would be straight rhythm. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you have something, uh, what many people call an odd time signature, which is 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can do many things like this. So yes, rhythm is so fundamental, Preeti. So it is definitely something that can alter the landscape of a song, to put it. And we will be going over that in the episodes to come. How rhythm can be used in music as well to really change the mood, to really express what you want to say. All right, I hope that answers your question. Can we equate with Nadai? Okay, so Nadai is a Carnatic. It's a term that's used in Carnatic music. So South Indian classical music is called Carnatic music. For those who don't know, um, so can we equate with Nadai? Yes, actually, you can equate this to Nadai. We will get to Nadai somewhere along the line. That will come. So when we bring in the concept of groups, so what we did today, if you notice, we were doing some grouping. So when we say A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, so when we do that, that becomes a group. So now we're able to view this entire rhythm as a group. And now we can take this group and use it anywhere. So the concept of Nadai has different kinds of groups. So you learn to remember what a certain group sounds like, a group of rhythms. So some it may be straight. So Nadai is actually a straight kind of rhythm, but with a slightly different twist to it, which we will get to later. So, but for now, short answer is yes, we can equate it with Nadai, and how we do that, we'll get to it someday soon. All right. Any more questions? If not, so I can take, I think, one final question. If not, you know, that's about it. Again, thank you all for coming. This week was just a basic introduction, so we're doing something very simple. We were using A, B, C, and D. We will, with time, use more, use a vocabulary of syllables, which will make it really easy for us to grasp any rhythm. So whether it's a song, whether it's even dance, well, anything, any rhythm at all. I mean, bird song, it could be anything. You can easily parse that rhythm. You can easily understand that rhythm by just superimposing a set of syllables onto it. So we'll be doing that with time. So I thought the first time that we're doing this, let's keep it really accessible to everyone. From here on, we'll build with this. So I would encourage all of you to try to practice this. And when I say practice, practice is associated with this kind of grind kind of a thing. That's not what I mean. I mean explore it. Explore what we've done today. Try out your own rhythms. Try to do it with a metronome. Try to do it with a tempo. And really try to understand what we're doing with the tempo. How different tempos can still bring out the same pattern but with a slightly different feeling to it. All right, I think that's all the questions we have. So, all right, thank you so much for coming. See you next week